not okay that he's bringing X, Y, and Z home and just having sex with them and they're going home.
This is off topic.
I know.
I was watching for a minute, like, where is this? What's the correlation? Like, it's not your turn anymore.
I know.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Charities podcast where we discuss all things from millennial struggles to relationships and love and everything in between. I'm Jade.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Hideous.
Woo, woo. Welcome.
Hi guys.
Week. I was going to say Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy
I keep saying that. I always say it.
Yeah, how long are you supposed to say that for?
Especially on emails, I say it.
Oh, yeah, me too.
End of Jan.
Yeah. If I haven't spoken to them, then I'll be like, how's the new year
But
going?
then what if you've not seen somebody and then you see them in February?
Nah, I don't say it in February.
Yeah, because I said it to
It's a
someone
Jan thing.
today in a sarcastic way and they were like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. and I was like, are we still actually saying that? Or, yeah. Anyway,
Still a thing.
how is everyone?
I'm actually very good.
Good.
In the last few days, this is going to sound quite morbid, but it is good. I woke up on Sunday. Sunday it hits me especially, and I'm just really, really bathed in the feeling of see already it sounds moist. I bathed in the feeling of being happy to wake up and just being so at peace and like
Yeah, that's such an underrated
because for
feeling.
so long I hadn't had that. For so long I'd wake up and be like, oh God, and just be cold and not even cold temperature wise, but cold in your feelings. You just know like you're just uncomfortable, you don't want to be there, do you know what I mean? And now I just really enjoy waking up and just lying in bed for a bit because I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
That is good.
I feel like
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But I have been in a good mood all year so far. I'm 13 days in.
Any reason
I'm on a
why? Have
winning
you changed
streak.
anything or is everything just...
Getting good D? Joking.
It's just been a good. I don't know. I just in a good mood. Like
Aw,
nothing's
good.
pissed me off yet. And
And I
if
feel
You
like
were excited for 2020 though. You
Yeah.
kept
I
going.
was. So I'm just like
Just
I'm
embrace
still
it.
excited, and I'm just like keen to start as you mean to go on. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
not let the things that would have bothered me last year bother me now. Trying not to stress out over things that
Yeah.
I can't control,
Totally.
etc. And yeah.
just enjoy it whilst there. We'll be happy and then all of a sudden like shit will happen and we'll be like, oh, I just remember when I
Yeah.
felt so good. It's like, I wish I embraced that moment more.
Honestly.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Jade?
Yeah.
I feel like 2020 start has been shit. I can't lie.
Ah.
It's
Oh.
been stuff with the whole... What was going on? There was like that whole war crap going on.
We're talking about
Then
in
there's
your
like
life.
the Australia fires.
Are you taking all of
and
that
in
personal?
my own life, like I had stresses with like work and stuff, and I just kind of felt like, and there was also like issues going on like in my family, like personally. So I just felt like, I feel like 2020 has just been disastrous so far.
Oh my
But I
God.
see a light. I feel like it is going to get better. Like, I think like this last week
When?
things have changed. So I hope it's going to be all right. It will be fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is going to be how it's going to be for the rest of the year. But yeah, no, at the minute things aren't looking too good. But I'm sure it'll get better.
Mm-mm.
I hope so, boy. Last year, I was sick January through March. I spent a lot of last year being sick. So being sick January through March, I was like, okay, I'm ready for 2020. Like I already tapped out of the year. And then it just felt like bare bad things just kept happening. There was a few good bits in there, but like it just felt really negative. And then that is what contributed to the way I was feeling. So now, so far, nothing bad has happened. And I just feel a bit more empowered. Like,
Yeah.
when they say if you put your mind to it, you can do it, and thoughts become things, and all of that sort of stuff. And that's just where I'm at right now, and I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
I listened to a podcast. I listened to Girl Boss Radio. I think I've said this loads of times. And a woman came on and she's a life coach. And she's been a life coach from 1999.
Or
Oh, wow.
When it wasn't a biggie. Like everyone was like, what's that? Do you know what I mean? And it was interesting for me because I also have a occupation where it wasn't an occupation until recently. So I feel like I get that. And she said there's 3 things that she tries to live by. First one is every problem has a solution,
Yeah.
big or small. If it doesn't have a solution, it's not a problem, it's a fact of life. And you need to learn to accept it.
I like that.
Thank you. And
It's not your quote.
but I'm bringing it to you.
She's claiming it.
And thank you. And if there is a problem and you know the answer to that problem, no matter how mad it is, you may not care enough about that problem to do the solution.
Yeah.
And that's okay, let go of it. And I think that one's the one that resonates with me enough, like loads. Like I'm always like, oh my God, but how? And there is a how, but it's just so long or ridiculous that it might as well not be a how. So I need to just say, okay, I don't care enough to do that. Goodbye.
Yep. No,
Hear
I
that.
do hear that.
And with that note, who's
Get
going?
on
Let's
with the
go.
picking.
Let's go. So pick a mix. Who's going first?
Not
I
me.
will.
Okay.
There is one of us volunteers each week. Like, it's just.
It's never
quite
you.
good.
Yeah. You
Isn't it?
No,
I think it was you.
At
I
least
think it
once
was
or
you
twice.
like
you
6
have
months
once.
ago.
Yeah, I remember the time you did, but I remember it because it was so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a one-off.
Yeah, I don't like go first.
Next time you're first.
Yeah, you're
Alright,
first.
alright.
Nick.
This is like Apprentice when he does it. He's like, you're gonna be head next time. Okay. I wanted to speak about, which I've been itching to speak about for a while, a subject to do with parents. Now, do you think if you come from a single parent family where the mum's done madness or the dad's done madness and the child is raised by the other one, obviously,
What do you mean they've done madness?
cheated,
Okay,
left
yeah.
the parent, been shit in general, had a drinking problem, anything that's made the relationship break down, obviously, and therefore the kid lives with only one parent, should the main parent who looks after the kid tell the kid about the other parent's downfalls? Or should they always remain a level of, that's your parent, may not get on, but you're always going to, from me, hear respect because that's your parent?
That is such a tricky one.
I don't think so. I think that it depends. So, for example, let's say what movie did I watch the other day? Single Mums Book Club or something? Single Mums Club
Was
or
it on
something?
Netty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mum, Nia Long's character, she had a son and he didn't ever see his dad, and she would always just tell him, like, he's busy, but he loves you and blah, blah, blah. And then one time the dad rang. So the son was being babysat by one of the other mums, and the dad rang the son like, I'm here, come meet me at this place. It was in the night as well. He's like, come and meet me at this place, blah, blah, blah. And then so the son's like, okay, I've been wanting to see my dad for ages, but I haven't because he's been too busy for me. So he leaves, sneaks out of where he's being babysat, goes to meet the dad, and then goes missing. So then the mum's panicking, she sends out a search party or whatever, and then the next morning she goes home, and then the son comes home and he's crying because he's like, why didn't you tell me my dad was an alcoholic? Crackhead, sorry. And he was like, he robbed my shoe, like he took my shoes, he took my stuff to sell it to go and get crack, and he left me there stranded. Like, he didn't actually want to see me, he was just using me. And mum was like, I didn't want to tell you that about your dad because I didn't want you to start having negative feelings towards you, because he does love you, but he's just battling this situation that he's going through right now. And if things were different, he would see you all the time and he would love on you the way he wants to do, or such and so forth. So I think it depends on when you say done shit or being a shit person, it depends on what it is, because if
If it's a choice or if it's an addiction, it's different, I guess.
well, I mean, an addiction starts off as a choice.
I don't think so.
How?
Because I think you're predisposed to being, like, there's some people that can have a drink and first time in their life they've drunk it and they're just like, okay, cool, I know what this does to me, whatever. And there's other people that can have a drink and because of genetically passed down things, like bare people in their families have been alcoholics and stuff, they will take that drink and from then they suddenly
But if you know
it.
that you've got bare people in your family like that, you would make a choice to not ever pick up a drink.
Or
Some
it just
people don't
becomes more
realise
normal
that
to you.
that addiction can run in the family.
And some people don't even know there's addicts. Bare people don't know that their mum's actually an alcoholic or until much later, much older, much, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not something that's as commonly
'Cause there's
known.
like
I think it
functioning
begins as a
alcoholic
choice.
and stuff.
I do think it begins. Once obviously you're there and you're in it, it's obviously no longer a choice. But everybody has choices in life. You go left, you go right, you go up, you go down.
Yeah, I do hear that. I do
So
hear what you mean.
yeah, it depends. But if it's like your dad cheated on me bare times and like I kept catching him with other women, the child just doesn't need to know that. But like if it's like a thing where your parents got an addiction, it's not safe for you to be around them, number one. Like things like that, yes, they will need to know. But it's not from a point of me saying it to bring you down, because these are your life choices at the end of the day. This is what you chose to do. You chose to do that over looking after your child. So I think it depends.
I feel like it depends, because if, like, obviously there can be different times in people's lives. So I think that it could have been like when they were with you, maybe they were like an alcoholic or whatever. But if now like they seem to have changed and they are being a good dad or whatever, good parent, like they are like giving the money towards like the child. They are visiting them often, taking care, like taking them out, talking to them often, actually being a good parent. Then like, who am I to try and put down? You know what I mean? Like,
if they're
what
being
doing.
a good parent,
But
is there reason to speak negatively of them?
that's what I mean. Then maybe you don't need to say it.
Is that what your question's asking?
Yeah, and I'm saying that, like, do we, as a society, parents in general, often treat the relationship with that person in the same way that you treat that person's relationship with your child? And because I've seen bare times of men who've been absolute pricks to their girlfriends or the baby mums or whatever, and now they've got a child and they adore this child, the baby mum will stop him from seeing the kid, and
that
really
happens.
really mess up the whole situation because she's so angry at what you did to her. I do think that's wrong, but as a woman myself who is in a relationship and probably will have kids and whatever, if I was wronged by my partner, I can't say for sure that some of that wouldn't spill onto the kid.
Yeah.
Being honest.
The thing that you love the most that you would do to someone that treated
not
you
on
like
purpose,
trash.
but I would obviously for like her ego reasons and also care for my kid, because for me, if you cheat on someone that you like, you know, depending on the relationship and stuff, but if I've thought we've had a good relationship and at some point
you've been bad to someone that you've loved,
then what does that say about you? And I think it's selfish. Like, to cheat is selfish. Yeah. So if you can be that selfish and that disregarding that you're eventually you're gonna hurt me, and then you are gonna hurt the child at some point because it's gonna hurt them that you've done that to me. Why would I want you to be?
I think in that sentence, not that I'm condoning cheating at all, but everybody's human. So
agree.
The way that they would hurt you, like, there's no saying that they won't ever hurt the child, but it's not going to be cheating on them, is it? So it could be anything. It could be, oh, you were supposed to come for me at 6, you didn't come till 8. That might hurt the child, lying, but everybody is human at the end of the day, and everyone's going to hurt somebody at some point. Nobody goes through life not hurting anybody. So I think that would be very unfair. But like, speaking from a personal point of view, when I grew up, my mum and my biological dad were not together, never was together, but here I am. And it would be things like I would go to spend time at his family's every holiday. Like, any time off school, I'd be there. And like, he wouldn't really like come and see me or anything. He would know I was there, but he'd be like too busy, or he might pop in and then pop out again. And he just wouldn't really see me. And like, he never really came to get me from Leicester to like, so they lived in Bedford. So he'd never like come, and then I would always be like, when I was little, I used to think the absolute world of him. Like, anytime I see him, I
can't imagine that.
I don't know why. I think
I don't know what came over me.
I don't know why, but like, I just used to think the absolute world. Even though I knew I didn't see him, I just thought
every kid does.
He's busy for a reason.
Yeah. Because he's on bigger things.
Because he's like he's ambitious. He's here with this person. I used to hear stories from my grandparents like, oh, he's doing this, he's with that person.
And you hated Leicester, so you're like, he's bigger.
Yeah,
he's
life
doing
at
amazing.
home was not fantastic at the time. Like, well, not fantastic, but just like being a single child over there and then being one of this amount over here is just different. So like, yeah, I just used to think the world of him. But then when the situations like, he would say he's going to come on this day and then he doesn't come on this day. But then my mum would never like be like, oh, your dad this. She would literally just speak facts. And you can't deny the facts. Like, there was a lot of times where he was supposed to come, didn't come, and I'd be waiting, bags packed, or like he said he would call, didn't call. I'd be sat by the house phone waiting. It's bedtime now, gotta go to bed. And there'd be so many times I think, so many false promises made that were never fulfilled. And like, my mum would always just be like, and if he said anything, I would be reluctant to tell my mum because I know she's going to give me the harsh truth. Yeah. She's going to tell me, don't hold your breath.
Trust me.
Don't like set your heart on it because it might not happen. And I used to just think she was a hater. And I did. And I used to take that anger onto her despite her literally saving me from her own feelings. And so like, her not badmouthing him, I got to obviously a point when I was like, this guy's taking me for a dickhead. Like, he obviously doesn't rate me. He obviously doesn't want me. Why am I trying? And that point didn't come till I was about 16, 17, when I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this with you forever. Do you know what I mean?
See, I have the reverse. Like, the reason this has even come up to me is because I was thinking about it and I was thinking like, one of the things I'd really want 2020, one of my actual personal goals, which I haven't told anyone yet, so is
exclusive,
to be cool with my dad. I don't want to chat to him. I don't want to be friends.
That's very big of you.
Thank you. I just want to be in a situation where if my brother has a birthday or he's like, yeah, I can just be like, hi, you all right? Cool. And do you know what I mean? And be cool. Or like if someone dies and there's a funeral, cool. Not beef. Right now it's on site. It would kick off. It would. And I don't want that.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't want no trouble. It would literally be like, what? It would. I'd have to bring back up. But I don't want that. I just want us to be cool. But the problem is, I can't be cool with him. How I feel right now. And a huge part of that is because of how much he's hurt my mum.
Yeah.
And I know her telling me every single day how much of a prick he is, how much she hates him, how much pain,
think that's true?
how much this, how much that. Definitely true to her, but I've now soaked that up.
Yeah.
So I now in my head can't see myself.
So if she hadn't have said that,
I
how do you think it would be?
but I'm not saying that that's the only reason I don't talk to him. Like there's loads of other reasons that he's not a great person. However, that's a huge aspect to me right now. Like the other personal issues I've had with him, I'm so past that point that like I could get over that now. Like who I am and what I think of myself is so high that wouldn't hit me. But the pain it would make her feel is what's current to me. It's like, and I only feel that pain because of how much she shared with me and how much she's told me how bad it is and how bad this and that. But at the same time,
that's not necessarily because of that's what she said, but that's because of like her personal feelings towards the fact that she would get upset if you were to do that. Not necessarily the fact that she's told you that he's hurt you, but because she's not over it and she would be hurt.
But also,
if you were to be
like you said, she
if,
has
if
only said facts.
If your mum turned around and was cool with him tomorrow, you probably would be too.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it would be cool. It would be easier for me to be.
Yeah.
A lot easier. But like you said, it's facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but it's her wording as well.
Yes. Which we've all had.
Yeah.
I feel like I completely get what you're saying, and I feel like you've made me think a lot about my nephew's situation as well, because he's been loads of times waiting at the door for his dad to come and he won't message him. Sometimes he'll just turn up 2 days later for some reason, like, oh, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Or like he doesn't even come. He'll be like, come now. Like my sister will have to drive up to Norfolk like hours away.
Jesus Christ.
Norfolk.
Yeah.
It's not Leicester, is it?
And my nephew's dad like treated my sister like shit, cheated on her and everything. So she obviously felt so much pain and like resentment. And he obviously has, he also has problems with addiction as well. So she like feels the need to tell him. I think for her, it's a mixture of resentment, her own resentment, but also feeling like she needs to let him know, like, this is what he's like. You need to get used to it.
And
either you take it and get used to it, or don't have anything to do with him. It's up to you.
And part of the reason why as well, I think that is because she needs your nephew to not resent her for his dad's absence, because it's not my fault.
Yeah.
These are his choices. Like, if he wanted to come and get you on the days that we have, like, it could be so simple, but it's not, and it's not my fault. So if from that point of view, I can understand why she would want to tell him certain things. But at the end of the day, you have to remember kids are just kids. And sometimes, like, especially if you've got a smart kid, you overestimate what their emotions can take. Do you know what I mean? So you might overshare with them a bit too much, and they don't forget this shit.
100%.
Like, this is the stuff that's going to stick with them. This is the stuff they're going to have to go to therapy for when they're 18.
Yeah.
And like, there's just
this is why they're going to hate you someday.
Like, sometimes they're watching something and it would be like this horrible man. My sister would be like, that was just like your dad.
Yeah,
I
so
just
things
think,
comments like that, I feel like are a bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
But then it's
like,
true
and it's
what you
offensive.
say.
No,
It's
but that is just random and uncalled for.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference of it becoming like something that's necessary to say, and when you're just letting your personal feelings kind of get in the way.
Yeah. And I think especially like if you're a kid, like I've seen a few instances in my life as well with like everybody around me has children, so I see loads of different family dynamics. And sometimes I do see like a parent who's often like somebody that's close to me as the mum, who can cut their nose to spite their face when it comes to the dad. So like you said, it'd be like, can I see them? No, fuck off. You hurt me last week. And it's like, yeah, but what's that got to do with the kid? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be a night in for you, or an extra sleep.
Exactly.
Or the reason you're complaining and saying you can't do this, this, and this. Yeah.
To get to hurt him, because he's not going to hurt. He's going to say, okay, fine. And then he's going to go out and enjoy life. And you're going to be stuck at home with the child.
Totally.
Which is a blessing. But still, you need time off as well. 100%. Do you know what I mean? So, bit of a sticky one.
And what you were saying, so like how your mum would just break it down to you and be real and be like, look, don't hold your breath, stuff like that.
I mean, but I was 5. Like, you don't say it like that.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. If it would have been, it was facts, but like, I just needed to hear, like,
let me
I would have
down
rather
lightly.
been like, I think I would have rather been lied to.
Really?
Yeah.
He's busy,
At
can't
5.
make it, or
Fucking hell, lie
Yeah.
to me
I
at
don't know.
5.
I'd rather not.
25, no. At 5, you
Yeah.
tell me that
So
Yeah.
what
he's...
age do you think it's all right to be like, look, I'm not going to lie.
I think you have to
when
wait
we can have a
until...
coherent conversation.
You need to wait until the kid starts to question shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the kid is like, but daddy said he was going to come and I saw it. Then you're like, sit down. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Before then, it's all, dad's busy. He's on the moon right now. I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
I'm going to go to school and be like, my dad's on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you comment from the day they're born, your dad's
So,
setting them up from the day they're born.
what you said about how like your mum would say that and stuff, I would say I would do the same. And I feel like that is stepping in. But I see a lot around me of parents, of people my age, who haven't and don't step in. And I have an issue with that. I feel like stepping in is necessary.
What, stepping in by saying like the
Not
truth?
just that, and also calling shit out. Like partners of your kids, you have a say in. I'm sorry, I think like you do. I do feel like you do. As my child, I need to know who you're laying down with and who you're doing. Like we've sort of discussed this already about like people coming over and stuff. I think that it is not a right, because I don't want to say that, because if your parents have been horrible to you and then they think that they can lead over your life, of course not. But I just feel like there is more need for parental intervention than currently goes on a wider scale.
Yeah, sometimes parents before their time, and sometimes people, more often than not, people grow into parenthood. They have no experience of it. They don't know what's right from what's wrong, and they're literally learning on the go. And they haven't spent much time around like other people being parents and to witness how to maneuver in the situation. So I think that if they had that experience, they would know this is not a good way to act or to raise my child and such and so forth. And also the people around them that have been through it and done that, they would be able to
Guide as well.
Exactly. I think I went off point.
No. What do you think about that?
I feel like that's a whole different conversation. I feel like it depends on your relationship with the child. Like if you've always had a close like relationship, you've always talked to each other about relationships, what's been going on all the time you're growing up, then yeah, fair enough. Like you should, continue by all means whenever they get older. But I don't know. I think obviously I think it's just important, like if you do they have a parent who has been a dick, and then you see them going for that same kind of bad relationship, then just be like, look, I'm just gonna tell you. I don't think I would step in and like if that, like for example, me and mum were talking in the car, that if there was like an argument going on like upstairs in my house, like would my parents step in? And like no, they would just like stay out of it. So I don't know if it would be like maybe just after when they were gone, I would then step in and be like, look, can we have a conversation? Just speak to them, my child, like look, if you're you might have this propensity to go for a negative relationship and repeat the trauma and blah blah blah. Just I think it's more education rather than like stepping in and being like, you can't do this. I'd rather educate and then let them make their own decision from there.
But I feel like stepping in can be the prevention. Do you know what I mean? Like if you step in and you're like, look,
give me an example of
get out of
in.
my... Okay, there we go. You're in what conversation we had. I have a child. They're in my house. My kids, typical age of having a boyfriend or girlfriend, 17-ish, massive blazing row upstairs. Either from my child shouting at the person or vice versa. I'll go upstairs and I'll say, both of you, come downstairs right now. We're going to have a conversation. Or if it's not that time, I'll be like, whoever isn't my child, you need to leave because of whatever situation. That is stepping in, because I need my kid to know I love you, I this, I that, blah, blah, but I'm still your parent. And I will still always, even if you can't see it right now, I'm looking out for your best interests. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got so many examples of, and I do know it differs when it's gender. Like boys, it's gonna more often than not be more of a hands-off approach. But still, like, I just think like mums of boys need to be on it. Like you can't be, it's not okay that he's bringing X, Y, and Z home and just having sex with them and they're going home.
This is off topic.
I know.
I was watching for a minute like, where is this? What's the correlation? Like it's not your turn anymore.
I know. I know, but I just
trying to slide in a different time.
Everyone.
That's enough of that, okay?
Yeah, okay, fine.
You really tried it just then.
Any more on that? Okay, no more comments.
You better wait 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right.
I'll be bringing this back. And if you want to talk about it separately, you can just DM
Why
me.
did you click onto that?
She was like, she was there for it. She was here.
I mean, I like the conversation, but it was off topic. It was a few conversations in one there.
That is
3 in 1.
hilarious.
I tried to disguise it.
I know you did. I was like, where's the dad in this? What?
Okay, who's
I'm
going
gonna,
next?
I'm going to go next. Mine, now we've got limited time, is do you believe that you're beautiful or do you rely on other people to tell you?
Oh, this is a
Why are you
good
looking
one.
at me, boy?
This is a good one. So I think that, like, it's for me, like, it's important. I feel like people can get insecure. I can get insecure. Everyone can get insecure at times. Sometimes you can be feeling low on yourself, and if stuff is going on in your life, you can just get really down. And so I have made a point of like proper, like, I will literally look in the mirror and be like, you're like, say things that I like about myself, tell myself like I'm beautiful and that I look good. Like, I just think that's so important to just like keep up with that and do that often, because I literally read this thing that said that whatever you tell yourself, you will believe. Like, if you keep telling yourself you're ugly, 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 you will actually start to believe that, and you'll just reinforce that. And it's just like a whole like toxic cycle. Whereas if you tell yourself that you're beautiful, you actually start to believe it. And like, even like last year, 2 years ago, I think even like last year, like I was still wearing fake tan all the time and everything when I can, and just really, really being hard on myself about being pale. But now, I mean, I've worked on that. I tell myself I'm beautiful. I like my skin. Like, I don't have to like try and be darker. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, being pale and pasty white as the freaking walls is all right. Like, it's pretty, it's fine. And just that everyone's different. So I do think that it's so important to like tell yourself, because everybody can get down on themselves and pick themselves apart. But it's just important, because don't rely on anybody else. Because one day when they get mad at you and they want to upset you, it's easy for them to just turn for a second and say that you're not. And then you're crushed, you're crumbled. That's it. Your self-worth is in the drain.
Believe that.
Yeah, and if they're cheating on you, you think, you know, especially as women, because we're told that we are, like, our value is in our looks. So we just need to tell ourselves, don't rely on anybody else, because, nah, that's not going to get you anywhere.
100.
Love that.
I didn't say retweet. Okay.
I use that one. I use that one. Ever since you started using it, I always say that.
I never say retweet because I'm not on Twitter.
Because you're not
Neither
cool.
am I, but still.
Probably. Okay, I fluctuate. As a baseline, yes, I do think I'm beautiful. I do think
Why
I'm beautiful.
are you laughing?
Because of how I said it. Like, I do think I'm beautiful. Just in case you didn't know, I am. No, I do believe I am. And I've always said, like, I'm very self-affirmed. But my idea of beauty is based on society. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm only allowed to feel beautiful because I fit society's view of what's beautiful.
That is very interesting.
However, I know that if there were certain things different about me, I don't know if I would feel the same, being honest. Also, I have days like I think last week, I was feeling really like ugly and I was just like, oh, but I'm good at like, if I feel ugly about my face, I'll gas myself about my body and vice versa. So I have points where I'm good at picking other things and being like, but it's all right. And then if I'm down to the absolute lowest, I'll be like, at least I'm funny. Oh, at least I'm this, do you know what I mean? Like, at least I've got friends.
so
like, I'll go down the road
today.
Literally, at least I open my eyes, boy. Like, it will. But you need to do that. I think it's about perspective.
You have to be
always
grateful, and
100%.
that comes back down to gratitude that we spoke about already. You have to. At least you have friends.
There
like
you go.
literally,
Yeah,
there's people that they don't have
Trust
friends,
me.
and
At least
people
I've
that
got a
don't.
roof. At least I've got a bed.
Literally, all of that. So you do believe that you're beautiful.
Yeah. What about
Good.
you?
So you don't rely on anyone telling you. So if nobody ever told you anything ever,
I think everyone would feel better if no one ever said anything better.
Yeah.
People's comments about, I'll get more uncomfortable when people make comments and they are trying to be positive, but it makes me question things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bare times, and then I'll feel bad for the other people around.
Yeah.
Like bare times if I see people laughing, they're like, oh my God, you've lost weight. I'm just like,
Oh,
that's
God.
such
You know
a
what people
trigger.
keep saying to me?
That's a trigger.
people keep saying to me, "You look well."
Oh my God.
What do they mean by that?
Fat.
What the hell?
Healthy.
I know it
healthy.
to mean fat. I know it to mean you look like you've been eating well. Like you look like you've been
God.
eating.
You've been eating good, boy.
Rude.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
But like I feel like there's certain times, because of how sensitized and sexualized and all the eyes we are as women, everything is a bit of a trigger. So I feel like if no one made any comments about anything, good or bad, everyone would be happy.
I get
it's the
you,
comments, and then I'm thinking, why haven't I got that comment?
Yeah.
Or vice, do you know what I mean? Like that's what. If you look at a room of women and you watch when my boyfriend pointed this out to me, look at a room of women and you watch when a man goes up to one of the women or comments on one of the girls, and how instantly all the other girls around will do something and they'll feel like, why not me? And it's a human reaction. It's normal, but just times that by 1,000 with all the fucking sensors we've got on us, Instagram, social. Are you crying?
No.
Oh my god. Social media, all of that. Like, we're all fucked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every little thing is like a bullet.
Yeah, I really get, because in my last situationship, he would often be like, oh, you look nice, you look nice. After a while, I was like, can you just stop saying that?
Yeah.
I was like, I'd rather actually like you didn't say that and say like something about my personality or like something else that you like about me. Do you know what I mean? I just don't really want to hear all the time that it's the way I look.
Oh my god.
I don't know, I just was like, I just don't want it to seem like that's the
It's
best
based
thing
on
about
this.
me, that
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
the way
So
I
you
look.
never said like, oh, you're so funny.
I mean, funny is one
Clearly-
thing, but that's not like
Clearly there
why you
wasn't
like me.
enough of the personality stuff. Otherwise that would stick out.
I get it, but then again, if they'd never said like, "Oh, you look nice" or anything, I'd kind of be like,
You wouldn't be
like,
reassured.
Yeah. So but I mean, I would only need it once in a while. Like if I don't know, we're going somewhere and I've dressed up or whatever, then I'd be like, obviously you should know.
Take
this.
note, look.
But I mean, I think there's just like a happy medium for people, isn't it? If it's too much, then you start thinking like, is that what I'm good for? But if it's too little, then you think, well, am I not enough? So maybe just like a happy medium.
You speak now, because every time I ask you, you throw it away.
Do I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've been like, what about you? And you're like, what do you think?
I thought you were asking Jade.
No,
Sorry.
you.
Me. So like you said about
Do you
having the
think you're
low
beautiful?
days, I do think I am pretty.
Say it.
Yeah. You are.
You don't think
Very.
I'm beautiful?
I don't know if I'd use the word beautiful.
You are.
I don't think I'm
would.
hideous.
You
I
are
don't-
beautiful.
I
don't-
think you're beautiful.
I don't think. Thank you, guys. I don't think I'm like hideous or anything. But I don't know if I would use the word beautiful.
Definitely. would.
I
don't
know
know
what you
why.
mean. I know what you mean, because I would I rate myself out of 10 on looks. And I'll be like, I know I'm like a whatever.
I mean,
out
I
of
don't
10,
do
but
that.
I'm
You shouldn't
also
rate
a-
yourself.
I know.
I don't rate myself out of 10, but like
No,
I just
don't.
know that as well. Sometimes it depends on how I feel. They say when you feel good, you look good, and so on
Totally.
and so forth.
Yeah,
But
literally.
I am so like, I'm the type of person that will stand in the mirror and overanalyze my face for half an hour.
Yeah, see,
Like
you can't
looking
do
at
that.
every single thing, like for example, this mole that I've got here on my nose, I used to hate it. I used to think, oh my god, if I didn't have that on my face, I'd be so pretty. But then it got to a point where like now it's my face. Like I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd look without it. But just things like that, like I used to hate, like for ages, I used to have like really bushy eyebrows. Like if I don't do my eyebrows, it's a wrap because they meet in the middle. and not only do they do that, they join my hairline at the sides.
That
It's
is-
a mess. I literally
so
like the
funny.
teenage werewolf. So when I was sick towards the end of last year and I was like basically bedbound, my legs were, everything was hairy, like my forehead had outgrown. I didn't have any eyelashes on. I didn't have any nails on. And I literally felt disgusting. There's nothing anybody could have said to me that would have made me feel nice about myself. And I remember both times when I got a bit better, the first thing I did was my eyebrows, because that makes all the difference about your face. But generally, I think that I just think I'm nice. I wouldn't say beautiful.
But I think it's because I think a lot of people feel this way because of the societal norms that says that we always need to be looking. I don't feel like there's any pictures I see on Instagram most of the time, apart from like girls that are actually naturally very, very beautiful. But like, I feel like a lot of the time men will say that, oh, I like this, a natural looking girl, whatever. But the reality of an actual natural looking girl, like no one really sees that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one actually, like guys don't know what a naturally pretty looking, like
They
a
don't.
natural looking girl is, because in reality, they just want someone that has natural looking makeup. That's what they think is natural.
Yeah.
And it's like now we think that we need to still have like long eyelashes, like even if you don't have like eyeshadow and all that, you still need to have long eyelashes, you still need to have your eyebrows done at least, you know what I mean, to look like normal. You still need to have like your hair
there's
done.
a definitely unspoken level.
Yeah.
And that
But
is enough to just get you to rough.
I think it's, you just need to look maintained.
Yeah.
Like if your eyebrows are bushy, you're not gonna look
Yeah.
nice at all. Like nobody.
You're gonna look
Because
homeless.
you
I'm
look
joking.
homeless and rough.
Yeah.
So as long as you look maintained and put together, like you bathed this morning,
Yeah.
then it should be.
What were you going to
Fine.
say about when I said the thing about beauty standards and that? Because you're like, that's very interesting. I really hoped for more.
Oh yeah. Because I didn't think about that. Because when I'm saying that, I wouldn't use the word beautiful. I don't think I'm ugly. I don't think I'm hideous, but I wouldn't use the word beautiful. But that's probably because there is a beauty in my head, and I'm not there. But although I don't think, because it's funny, because when I went out for New Year's, and obviously you get dressed and you look nice, you want to look nice for New Year's for the pictures. And I remember like I was in my room with my cousins, and I literally walked past the mirror and I was like, I did a double take. I said, I actually look really nice today. And they were like, you always look nice.
Literally.
And I was like, no, you don't get
so
it.
This
funny
is just
because
that you're
to
appreciating
me,
it now.
like when I think of like beauty, you're the first person that comes to head because
Shut
of
up.
how much you never look bad. Like, I know you say you look rough sometimes, but
no,
I
you
can't
always
Like
think
today,
sometimes.
I look a bit rough.
And like
don't.
even to me, that's like the level. I was even gonna be like, oh my god, your skin looks nice. You know what I mean?
did.
Because literally but that just shows my version of beauty and
Yeah.
my ideal
Yeah.
and what I would aspire to be like. Do you know what I mean? Is obviously that.
Yeah.
And like everyone's got a different one. So the whole are you beautiful is more of a myth. It's more,
Yeah.
are you closer to your ideal of beauty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the other day as well, I seen Gabrielle Union on TV, and I was like, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I think I don't have like you know that when we were like, oh, what would you call it, like a beauty standard? For me, there's a universal standard, which is confidence and owning your assets. Every woman is different. When you know how to dress for your body, instantly up there. When you know how to use your assets to make you look better, like I think that's the only way you can be beautiful. If everyone did that and everyone felt confident to do that, nobody would. I don't think anyone would need to get surgery or any of those things, unless it was for like, you know, but like medical reasons and stuff. Cosmetic surgery, I don't think it would have any, but they prey on, there's this one ideal, you don't look like that, therefore you're not pretty.
Yeah.
Get this to be like that.
Yeah. That generic look that you're talking about, I'm not really that much of a fan of. That type of aesthetic that cosmetic surgery is doing to people, that I don't think, to me, I won't look at that and say, oh
What's
my God,
your
beautiful.
epitome of beautiful?
Like Gabrielle Union. I think Lauren London is beautiful.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. She's
so gorgeous.
I would-
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah, no,
she
she's
is just
so
like,
beautiful.
I would, my boyfriend like had the audacity to be like, you know, she's actually proper
You were
pretty.
like-
And I was like, yeah. She's
I'll give
fucking
you that
thing. You go ahead,
Yeah,
my
she
friend,
is,
because
she
she is up there. She's just,
I think Kim Kardashian's really pretty.
I don't agree.
You don't?
I do think she's
No.
pretty, but not what she's done to her butt. But
No,
yeah,
even
her
before
face
then.
is
In her
pretty.
face.
Yeah,
No.
because I've seen what she looked like when she was young as well. And she is pretty.
She is pretty.
She's, yeah, but she's not my idea of beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, what was your beautiful? Go on. Or features, or what did you mean? Did you
I
mean
think so.
people, or
Like
did you mean-
clear skin is one.
Yeah. Definitely.
Nice eyebrows and nice proportional features. Like your eyes are like symmetrical. Your nose is like symmetrical. Like your mouth's just, everything just looks like it fits. Like nothing looks a bit out of place. Did I
Yeah.
say good skin?
Yeah.
Good skin is one.
Did you ever suffer with bad skin?
Yeah.
So I feel like
Not like acne, no, but like
not as clear as it is now.
I would get like a rash rather than acne.
Okay.
Like I remember when I was in school one time, I had this. I'm conscious of time. I had like this rash over my nose, and it just appeared from nowhere. And whenever I get a spot, it's always symmetrical. If I get one here,
Oh my
I get
God,
one
so
here.
do I. I thought that was just me.
It's so annoying. Literally, I
So
always
weird.
get them on like 2 at a time, and it's so annoying. But yeah, no. But when I was sick at the end of the year, and I was on all that medication, I had a breakout, and I'm just recovering from it now. Like getting back into the swing of things, and trying to get my skin back to where it was. But for the main part, I've always had pretty good skin.
Because I think that our beauty ideals are what we thought we've never had.
Yeah.
Because you said about your eyebrows, and obviously now your eyebrows look good, but you probably used
A lot of times people have straight hair, want curly hair. And people
yeah,
have curly hair,
yeah,
want straight
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
People have brown eyes.
But
have
for
blue
me,
eyes.
what I was well aware of that. But then as I was growing up, all the things about me that I didn't like became fashionable and good. So that's why it's been an easy transition. Do you know what I mean? Because all the things I was just like, I'm like loving now because everyone around me wants them.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the case, I don't know how I feel.
No, I get you.
Right.
All right, yeah. Right, let's
That's
have
enough
a
of that.
quick 2-minute my pick.
It's Maya's fault.
guys
Trying to talk about
sat there all
friends.
the time.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Don't worry about me. No, I'm joking. This is cool because this is probably a quick one anyway. So, I last time or a few episodes ago, I spoke about BBLs and why do we want BBLs? Like in ourselves, like what is it about us that makes us want them? But then I was just thinking that also on that episode, I can't remember what episode it was. It was a back chat.
Yeah.
Back chat.
Oh,
That
shit,
that they said like there was the boys who were actually saying like I couldn't be with a girl with a flat bum. Like if,
Flat. She
like,
said not fat.
all my exes have had BBL. So if I had a girl that didn't have one, I would tell her like you should get one. Like you should really get one, and just I would almost make her feel bad about it to convince her to get one. And like all the boys were like, yeah, kind of like saying things like this. And I was just thinking like, what the hell? Like no wonder these girls, like people feel the need to get one. And then when they do, guys will be like, oh, she's not natural. She's full of surgery, like making them feel bad in that same conversation. So
And you know, I have a theory about this. I feel like men are attracted to women who've had blatant surgery because it shows them that she's weaker as a person.
maybe
Because
yeah.
she's so like desperate for you. And this is not dissing anyone who's had surgery, by the way. I'm not knocking it. I'm not trying to
because
sound
that's
like
not everyone's reason for
at
it
all, of course.
yeah.
And I've got no idea how it feels to feel like that and whatever. But she's clearly been affected by how she looks
Yeah.
to the point that she's willing to go under a knife and sort it out. So what power could he have over her, really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I
If-
do reckon guys like that idea of like
Love
making
it.
her feel like I will love you. I think everything about you is beautiful.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
so they kind of almost like
Capitalising on her insecurities.
yeah. I get that.
I feel like if you're willing to go under a knife or something and you hate it that badly, like a man, we all know how fucking magical and addictive love from a man can be, that could definitely affect you in a mad way.
I think that obviously when a woman has such a surgery and she becomes that level of beauty standard and she becomes like top tier almost, then the guy feels like beats chest.
Yeah,
I can get that. Like I've had
I'm a big
that.
man.
She's the nice
like
girl.
she's got money to do it. She's done it.
Not about money. Just
She looks good and
she
I want to
looks
look good next to her.
That exactly. And like, because obviously guys, they always like, I can get that girl. I can get any girl I want. I want to get this girl. And obviously now she's enhanced her looks and she's one of the
Yeah, and they
better
don't really
looking
care where she's got it
girls.
from.
They don't care where it's come from. They just want to know that they can still get that girl, that nice girl. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yes and no. I agree
I
with what
think
you're
it's
saying.
like a thing where they just want to say, like, I get the nice girls. Like, I want to have the best looking girls. So if you've not got your bum done, it means you're not top tier. It means you're not 10 out of 10, which means I don't want you. It's not necessarily
So
about
fucked up.
power. It's more about just looks.
I think it's probably a bit of both for different
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, it probably is a bit of both.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying from a point of view of like aesthetics, pretty and whatever. But doesn't it go to show if you had to do that, you weren't at that pretty level before?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
A bum can take someone from 10, from 2 to 10, you know.
Fair enough.
I think if you did a survey with guys, about body and face, I'd be interested to know
Yeah.
what the results would be.
I don't
Do you
know
prefer
what it would
body
be,
or face?
honestly. I
Because
actually don't know.
I honestly feel like they would pick body.
Really?
Not
they
to
might
settle
as
down
well.
with, but to conquer.
Yeah, true. It's true.
I
I was having a
agree.
conversation with my boyfriend about that actually. And he
Because
was
when they
saying-
make comments like that, they're not talking about people that they want to settle down and make the mothers of their children.
Totally.
They're literally talking about people they want to
have sex with.
take home and have sex with.
Because I was saying this to my boyfriend. I was having a conversation saying about how I've always, I walk past the mirror and I'm always looking at myself and he thinks I'm looking at my bum. And he was like, why do girls always look at their bum? And I was like, I'm not. Girls do that, but I'm looking at my stomach because that's my area where I feel most conscious. Even now, that'll be the place where I'll look first. And I'll look first on girls, that as well.
Yeah.
That's my one. And then he was just like, why though? Like, your stomach's flat. And I was like, no, it's not. And then I'm trying to show him how it's not. And then he's just like, that's so funny because like as men, we don't even care about that. Like that's not what we look at. We're definitely looking at everything else. Just 'cause, and I was like, why then? He's like, because it's just like when you're having sex with a girl.
See, it all comes down to sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
her
all comes
about how
down
you
to
look
that
in your clothes.
animalisticness.
That's
It's
the
about
thing.
how you look
exactly.
naked.
It's true. It's true. So the bigness and the body sexually, definitely hear you on that.
Yeah, but I want to look nice in
Settling
my
down.
PLT dress.
Settling down and all of that. I do think it's different. And that's the
100%.
thing about like when he's like, he doesn't want a sexualized woman for a settle down, because then he's leaving her open to other men to look, and also like, you
As
know,
we said, a lot of guys like that. Someone
other men looking,
desiring their
that's
woman.
mad. I don't understand that.
And I feel like it's become so
I'm
common
still
now
not there with
that
that.
they can. That it's become so common now that they can find a woman who literally just tries to be it all. Will like have the body, but also someone that's very intelligent and someone who, you know, can cook and all that. Do you know what I mean? Because like everyone's getting affected by it now. It's become so common that like it's every type of woman that's doing it. It's mad. But yeah, fuck those guys who are saying that. Don't fucking tell anybody what their body should be like, because that's just beyond messed up.
Yeah,
I agree.
agreed.
Totally.
That show is just
It was
for
wild.
controversy. Literally, like,
oh my
But I
God.
genuinely think people think that. Maybe they're just too scared to say it.
I don't know what I always find with these shows, and I'm not dissing it again. Fucking hell, I have to say that every time. It's just that you think it's representative, but it isn't, because you're getting, if you're talking about BBL, you're getting mostly girls who have had a BBL and who are going to. So clearly that's bias. Do you know what I mean? And most of the boys on there are boys that will openly say they love BBL. So how are you getting a big mix here? This is basically all
is that
people
what
that
they
are for
said?
it.
Have they said that that's their aim?
That
though?
BBL episode. No, I don't know what they said, but I'm just assuming as a consumer that you're hopefully
I
giving.
don't think that they're aiming to be representative at
okay.
all. I think it's purely for entertainment purposes, and they know to get the right people together
They need to.
to talk shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it works.
Fair enough,
Good
fair
for
enough.
them.
And also, as men, it'd be interesting to know. We won't call you out or tell anyone who you are.
I might.
Be as shameless as you
I'm
want.
joking, I won't.
Tell us body, face, break it down.
Yeah.
I don't think guys give a shit about it being fake anymore. I think they just would rather like people be fake. And
No,
have
I
it.
think fakeness is a thing. Trust me.
I think that's a rare few. I reckon they'll be like, yeah, fake is bad to keep women down.
I
But
think they'll
then
all try a thing,
they still
but
want
then they all
women to have
come
it.
back to the real woman because of animalistic. It's animal. Do you know what I mean? I want to grab that. And feel meat. I don't want to grab it and feel. Do you know what I mean,
But why can't
silicone.
they have both? They can still have a BBL but still be meat on the legs.
Okay, Jade, I can see what you're trying to do here, all right? I'm trying to say that I think that natural eventually does win.
I get you.
I think that we're all really sensitive to insecurities.
Natural, but you still got to be pretty.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying that's my opinion.
But obviously,
I'm saying that's a
beauty's in the
society.
eye of the beholder as well. So
Totally.
there's a different version of pretty for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up. So shout
Cool.
outs.
Shout outs.
Don't look at me. I went first with pick a mix.
All right, I want to shout. I'll go first.
Thank
seeing
you.
as it's become a thing now. So I just wanted to shout. Obviously, we all know there's all this shit going on in Australia with the fires and stuff. You know, I call it shit, but it's not shit. It's serious. And obviously, it's been over 1 billion.
Apparently, it was
animals.
arson.
I thought that I heard
Really?
that, but then
Yeah.
I spoke to my client and she said it was bushfires. It happens every
Yeah.
time. It's nothing to do with climate change.
That's
it happens
what I
all over
thought.
Australia. It's not.
I
a biggie.
heard it was 24 climate change protesters that
What
lit the fire
the
to
hell?
prove that this is what can happen in climate change. But really, they set it to prove that, if that makes sense. So 24 people have been arrested. That's what I think.
Jeez, I did
Yeah.
not know that. But yeah, anyways, and it's hard to know like which sites are good to donate to. Do you know what I mean? Because you know you never know who's like setting you up, or whatever, dodgy website. So I found a couple. There's like the WWF website. That's like a reliable one, and you can send money there and guarantee that it's going to something good. And you know what? I'm just going to post the rest on the
Instagram.
bio on our Instagram, so you can just go there and you can click on them all. I won't name them all now. But yeah, that's it.
Cool. My shout out this week is
Why are you looking at me?
Oh my god.
Stormzy, still disappointed.
I love the background of it, like the background tune.
Literally, those two songs that Stormzy released, yeah, aside from them being diss tracks, they're actual bops.
Everyone's
Yeah.
and
no,
they've
it was
literally
good.
been like
They were
on
playing it in the
repeat.
clubs.
Everyone's
Yeah.
getting gassed over them, boy.
They've literally been like on repeat,
Yeah.
playing them like it's flipping church music.
Yeah.
I've been blasting it while I'm doing cleaning, cooking, tidying, whatever. So,
I want
yeah.
us to discuss that eventually.
Okay, cool.
Okay, my shout out is the musical Fame. I went to see it on Wednesday
Oh, nice.
because Josie Benson's in it, who's also my
Shout
boyfriend's
out,
mum.
shout out. Aw.
And she's doing
That's
her
sick.
thing. She's amazing. She's done an incredible
Wow.
solo. It was so good, and I was just in
Aw.
awe. So I wanted to shout her out, shout out you.
Aw.
And yeah, it was great. Everyone go watch Fame. If it's finishing. By the time this comes out, it might be finished.
Yeah.
So there's no point me saying that. But Fame is
Really?
good.
That was
yeah,
quick.
yeah. It was on tour.
Oh.
Okay. All right. right.
Okay, cool.
Well, thank you very much for listening, guys. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.